Hi, I'm Gina White, and I'm here at Our Savior Lutheran Church Gallery, and I want to thank them for having me here. It's such a privilege and a pleasure to be here for my show. It's called The Journey, and it's reflective of all of our journeys in our life. And so I started off with birth, and this is the creation, and it's talking about, it's really about Adam from the creation of life in the Bible. But I also use quotes. So the quote that I use from here is from Psalm, and it's when David was talking about how we are each created in the womb. So it really is about just that spark of life that we really can't define, but really separates us from inanimate objects. What I use overall is mixed media in this piece, so there's just different parts. There's actually pieces of the plastic things that you find on soda cans. There's dirt, you can see pieces of metal behind it, torn off canvas. So I just kind of really wanted to express just that spark and development of life. I use mixed media in a lot of my pieces. I have two styles that I really like to use is mixed media, and you'll see just different things like fabrics and oil paints. But I also use encaustic. That's my later and newer medium of choice. This piece is an example of encaustic painting. And encaustic is melted wax mixed with pigments, and you can use different techniques with it. This one is a layered technique where I buried different pieces that I created with stencil in many layers of wax. There's probably about 30 or so layers of wax in this piece. And you can paint underneath the layers, but it's preserved, perfectly preserved. It can stay like this indefinitely. They have portraits from thousands of years ago that are still perfectly preserved in the wax. This is another method of wax technique. It's called accretion, where you can build the wax up, and it's wish you could feel it. It's very textural. The wax is raised. All of my pieces, like I had said before, I use different quotes or poems, prose, songs that inspire me. And again, this is all part of the journey. So back there, we were talking about how we're born, and through these different pieces, I'm exploring how we grow and change as people, and our experiences in life impact us, the good ones and the bad ones. This one over here is called Joy, and this one is my most recent one through the pandemic. Joy is a mystery because it can happen anywhere, anytime, even under the most uncompromising circumstances, even amidst the suffering with tears in its eyes. And it's a quote from Frederick Buechner, and it's just kind of reflective of how I felt, and I think a lot of us felt during the pandemic, where we really wanted to cling to some kind of happiness, some kind of joy during this very difficult and stressful and unprecedented time, that our lives will forever be changed, and that's not necessarily a bad thing. That there is beauty and joy and hope that can come out of these hard times that we've had. So this is the one side of the gallery where we're talking about just our lives in an individual level, how we grow and change. And then on this side of the gallery, you'll come with me, I wanted to reflect a little bit more about how we as a world together grow and change. And we have to remember that all of us experience those things that we were just talking about before. We all grow and change, and we take away something different from these experiences. But then we have to interact with each other, and we have to be patient and kind and loving and understanding and empathetic. That we may look different, we may come from different parts of the world. That's what this represents. I tried to paint these portraits. These are again in encaustic and wax, but I painted them with inspiration from people from all over the world, and it was hoping that it would be a reminder. At least for me, it was just a reminder that we all, especially again in this pandemic, we've all experienced similar things. There's just another example of how we are all human. We all have that common human condition, and that we do feel and experience things in a similar way, but we can all help and grow with each other and through each other. So that was my experience with all of this, and thank you again for Octavia Lutheran Church Gallery, and thank you so much for having me and letting me share this with you.
Thank you.